How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Subs and Dubs Reviews. I am Dank Drummer, and today we'll be taking a look at the time travel thriller, Steins. First off, I'm only showing footage from the first few episodes, that way I don't spoil anything. As well, I won't be on camera today, I've been sick this week, and so if I sound more congested than normal, I apologize, but let's get started. Steins is kind of hard to summarize, but in a nutshell, which won't do it justice, it's about a self-proclaimed mad scientist,
ラボ創設者にして狂気のマッドサイエンティストこの俺大院京馬
a super hacker,
スーパーハッカー発動いたる
ハッカーじゃなくハッカーだろ上皇
and Christina.
さあどうするクリスティーナ
だからティーナってつけるな
悪かったなザ・ゾンビよ
ちゃんと呼べ法王院変態狂魔
黙れ天才変態少女
And by far the best girl of them all. You'll follow these guys around as they create a time machine, whether accidentally or not, as they start to slowly feel the repercussions of changing time itself. Well, maybe only Okabe, because he continually goes back and tries to fix things, and well, goes back again, and again, and again. The story revolves around these four for the most part, with some incredible side characters, and yes, even where the main characters can fall flat at times, I don't care how many times I still think it's cute as hell. Overall, she is a lovable character, even if that's what bothers you about her. So as far as the plot is concerned, the story is solid. Time travel is hard in general to do correctly while keeping the viewer in the know, but to go into different timelines and go through all of the things that can usually create massive plot holes, what it does leave open as a plot hole, I feel is minor, or something that you can't really make too big of a fuss over. You know, because science. Now, I love this show, and more importantly, its voice acting. The Japanese script is very, very strong, and with that, I was worried that its translation to English was not going to be as great as it could have, but Funimation has proved me wrong. Not only do I like their dubs, but it usually feels like something is missing from them. But in this case, this is enjoyable in English, if not even more enjoyable than its Japanese counterpart. Now, Okabe's voice actor, Mamoru Miyano, is matched perfectly by his English dub counterpart, J. Michael Tatum, as well as Christina.
だからティーナってつけるな
Asami Imai is evenly matched with Trina Nishimura because of how strong the script is and how well it translates to English. This is entirely enjoyable, no matter which way you prefer to watch. So if you have one that you love, watch it that way. Even I watched it in Japanese originally and then went back and rewatched it in English. Still got the same feeling of urgency. I still got the same comedic elements. It was all around enjoyable both ways. So if you love English dubs, do not worry about watching this English. You will enjoy it. Now, aside from everything that I loved in this, including its side characters being some of the strongest side characters I've ever seen, and the fact that every character that makes an appearance is actually useful to the storyline, regardless of maybe one character who's not really a dude, but is a dude, but isn't a dude at some point. I don't know. Everyone has a purpose, which is nice. It's something that you don't really see. And the way that they intertwine the story is nice because it's got enough plot twists to continually keep you captivated. Now, though this show is not without flaws, I feel like I can't give enough praise where it's deserved, but it's time to give some faults before I really go anywhere further. And first of all, I want to talk about its pacing. The first 6 episodes, where they're fun and overall enjoyable, sometimes they just come off comedic at best. Whether that was the intention or not, for how strong it finishes as a story, I felt its first act should have been a little bit stronger than it was, but unfortunately, it comes off a little bit too comedic for how serious it ends. Now, for Moeka, this character is the one out of the whole cast that bothered me more than anything. I don't know why, but she just felt so forced until her time really came to shine. And even then, it's so frustrating to watch her fumble around on her cell phone rather than being a strong point of the show, which she easily could have been. It's just sad to see that they put so much effort into making this character great and then taking 2 episodes to flesh out the character by the time that you're just overseeing her on the screen. This is a minor annoyance to me, so I wouldn't read too much into that one, but for me I think she was the weakest character of them all. Again, Again, not because she is a weak character, but because of how they portray her in the beginning. Though when Moeka's time to shine comes, it's awesome and it's fulfilling, but the way they present her at first is annoying. And lastly, no, it's not the minor plot holes that I mentioned earlier. I think the OVA is the worst part of the series. It didn't really serve much purpose, and yeah, it connects another dot of the story in a manner that is much different than I ever imagined it would, but still, I enjoyed seeing the cast back again, and for that, I was happy to get another episode. So before I score this, here's some final thoughts. I tried not to give too much away for the story because it really is something that you should just watch yourself. For the most part, I've never been a big fan of time travel stories. I'm not a big Doctor Who fan, so, burn me at the stake for that. But I think that this show is definitely worth your time. I definitely think it's worth your money. I went out and bought the show myself because I enjoyed it so much. And unfortunately, it's not streaming on Crunchyroll, but it is available on Funimation's site, both in the Elite and free with ads, Elite without. And with that said, Steins Gate gets a 4 out of 5. And as always, guys, I'm Dank Drummer with Subs and Dubs Reviews. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. Give me a like and subscribe and tell me what you want me to review next, and I will put it on the list. So if you're still watching, thanks for watching. I wanted to go into a couple of things and kind of delve deeper into the story. So from here on out, I'll be talking about small spoilers from the story, as well as my reasonings as to why I scored it the way I did. So I figure I'll start with the scoring. I really wanted to give this show a 5, to the point where I almost just gave it a 5 and just didn't even think about it. What I mentioned in the review, they are very minor issues. Like, I just didn't like a couple characters. I feel that its pacing in the first 6-8 episodes is a little weak in comparison to how strong it finishes. In all respects, this could have gotten a 5. I just wanted to throw that out there. So on to the spoilers. From this point on, don't watch if you haven't seen it. I wanted to talk about the one thing that solidified this show more than anything for me. The death of Mayuri. That plot point is amazing. I've never sat on the edge of my seat in just like heartbroken anger, angst over this character who dies consistently. And at first, for some people who don't really understand Okabe's motivations for her as a person, those get fleshed out in the story, and you as the viewer become more connected with Mayuri. And that is by far the most heartbreaking scene I've seen in an anime in a long time. And not only does she die once, but she dies every episode for a solid while, and you really start to see it take mental effect on Okabe and how he approaches situations and the other people that he works with in the lab. And it's so unique to see how they tackled that storyline of, well, we can take time travel back, and the levels he goes to try and save her. And then this brings me to the best plot point in this show, is when he finally realizes that if he saves Mayuri, Christina or Makise Kurisu dies. That is an intense plot point, and the realization that he makes at that point when she casually just says, "Oh, isn't that when you saw me get stabbed?" He just you just see, even in an animation, you just see his face just sink and how sad he is. And with Suzuha coming in and revealing herself as John Titor, being the daughter of, I don't even want to ruin it. I can't even spoil it because it's just it's so good. I just was so impressed with how they put it together. And like I said, I really wanted to score this a 5 out of 5, but something inside of it, for some reason, I couldn't bring myself in a critical light to give it a 5. With that said, thanks for watching if you've watched the whole thing all the way through. I'm probably going to do a discussion video on this with a friend of mine, as when I release my Attack on Titan review. The piece I posted before was just a thought. I'll post a full review, and then like this at the end, I'll have a discussion with a friend of mine where we clearly take different stances, and we'll talk about the differences that we see, and then we will see what you as the viewer sees, and we'll go from there. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm Dink Drummer, and I will see you next time.